Most people think that you need a big bank account to start a franchise. That's not always the case. Me, myself, I started with $0, a dream, and hella hustle. That's it. For those who don't know, my name is Skyler. I'm a franchise owner for Smoothie King. I now have 4 locations. I started during the pandemic. There's constantly people always asking me, how can I get started? Or they'll say, I don't have this amount of money, but I really want to be a franchise owner. If you're broke, or if you have a little bit of money, but you really got that dog in you, and that can be male or female dog, this video's for you. I'm going to give y'all 12 steps, 12 important steps that you need to be sure that you're doing to get yourself into the franchise game. Find a franchise that lets you work your way in. Now, most franchises, they require a lot. They're going to ask for $150 minimum just to get in the door. But there are some that will let you put in sweat equity. And what I mean by that is you're working your way up just to become a franchise owner. Paying your dues, but instead of you wasting your time, you're getting knowledge and you're knowing everything about the job. Almost think of it like you're trying to drive your friend's car, but he doesn't initially let you do it. Then after months of keeping the car polished, keeping gas in the car, maintaining good mileage, just keeping the car all the way detailed, your friends all of a sudden like, you want to take this for a spin? That's how some of these franchises work. You get in, you position yourself, you show them that you're serious. Get cool with the franchise owners. They're the real plug. Before I was even an owner, I started networking with franchise owners. I was meeting with them. I was soaking up all the game. Most people think that networking is like begging. It's like, nah, bruh. Just genuinely be curious. Listen to them, but be respectful at the same time. Here's a tip. A lot of these owners and these millionaires, they love to brag about themselves. They love to talk about their empire. They love to talk about when they were 13 and they were selling this to make their money to become a future CEO of their business. Listen to them. I'm gonna say this again. Rich people love talking about themselves. They love talking about their wealth. Just go drink some coffee with them, nod like you understand everything, and soak up the game. And for all 5 of y'all that's gonna watch this video, be sure to leave comments, be sure to subscribe, be sure to send this to your sister, your mom, your dad, whoever, because this YouTube algorithm, offer to manage before you own. I think this is the most important thing, and here's why. I convinced a franchise owner for Wingstop before I got to Smoothie King to let me run his restaurant for him. Let me show you that I got this. And on the flip side, help me become a franchise owner. Here's the thing though, I treated that Wingstop like it was mine. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into that store. I managed everything about it. I always was on top of P&Ls. I was always on top of making sure the store was clean. I did everything like I was the owner except pay the actual bills. Because if you do that, guess who's in line first to become the next franchise owner? Now, it didn't work out in my favor to become a Wingstop owner because of some unnecessary stuff. But at the end of the day, the risk that I took was well worth it because I learned so much in the process of trying to become that owner of that store. Here's the gem in this. Find a franchise owner that's trying to retire. There's so many old franchise owners out there that they're tired of the business. They want to get out. They want to ride off to the sunset. Work with them. Treat their store amazing, make them a lot of money. When they retire, they will hand the keys off to you. That can be your personal finance person right there. Work in the industry first, get paid to do it. This is what I did at Smoothie King before I owned anything. I was a GM, then I turned into a multi-unit manager. I learned everything about the company. I was learning the game. I wanted to see where the profits were coming from. I wanted to see where the real decisions were coming from, how the smoothies were being made. I wanted to know every detail about the company before I invested my actual money into it. Most people want to jump straight into being the CEO of the business and they know nothing about it. You want to know how most business owners fail? That's how. Take your time and be patient. Here's the tip. Work in the industry that you want to own at some point. Learn the game. Soak up everything. Make connections. Think about it. You're doing all this on their dime. Here's a quick story. When I was working for Smoothie King Corporate, one of the most valuable things I learned is theft. I learned how people were stealing. There was somebody that I hired and I liked them a lot. He was a great employee, Always showed up on time. Whole time he was robbing the store blind. I did that on corporate's dime, so I didn't have to pay that price. But now that I'm an owner, I know how to look out for every little detail on how someone can be stealing from you, how people can be stealing food. I know the ins and outs about it. That's why you want to do this. Learn the game, because numbers do not lie. If you don't know how money works, you're not going to survive in this business. Learn your P&Ls. Learn how to cut costs. Learn how to manage labor. Learn how to order food trucks or whatever business you're trying to do. You need to learn the ins and outs of all the money that's going in and out of that business. I call it run it like it's a penny business. Most franchise owners, they fail because they don't know how to manage money. There are so many franchise owners where you say, how does that P&L look? And they're like, I don't know. I ask them, how's your inventory look? They're like, I don't even do inventory. If you're not doing inventory and you don't know your P&Ls, how the hell do you not know how much money that you're missing out on? If you can't explain profit margins to the T, then you don't own a business. You own a job. It's simple as that. Find a franchise that lets you partner or finance with them. This is for the people that have no money, but they want to start. Earn equity through work. Finance the buy-in. Partner with somebody. These are 3 good options for you. There are so many people that have money, but don't have the time to run a business. You might want to network with those people. There's so many companies that will let you finance through them. So essentially, you might not have the money, but you have the experience. Going back to the experience that I was talking about earlier, you need to gain that knowledge, because that's what you want to bring to this company and let them know. I might not have the finances, but I have this background in the restaurant industry. These franchises, how they succeed is when they have great owners. And what better way to get a hungry owner that might not have the finances, but they have the knowledge, they have the drive. Those are sometimes your best owners. I'm one of them. If you have the hustle and you have the drive, network with someone that has the money. That way you can pitch it to them and let them know, like, say, bro, I know that you're tied up. I know that you got all these businesses going, but I got an idea. I got a plan. Let's open up these 5 burger franchises over on this side of the town. I got you, bro. I can run it. I can do everything for you. All you got to do is sit back and take a cut of the money. And you give them back all their money that they invested. Then you can start opening up your own empire. So 5 locations can go to 10 locations just like that. But you got to start somewhere. Y'all ever notice how broke people always have all the ideas and rich people just be sitting there with the money? Your job is to connect the two. It's that simple. Be creative with the funding, because at the end of the day, these banks ain't going for it. So if you don't have the funds, don't even waste your time at the bank. One of the most slept on things that people can do is get an SBA loan. An SBA loan is perfect for someone that's just getting started. They will work with you. They will ask for a minimum down payment just to fund your business for you. It's one of the best things that you could ever do. Don't get me wrong, the SBA loan process is very, very, very long, and it is annoying. But you got to think about it. They're putting up all the money just about up front for you because they believe in you. You could do franchise financing. There are some franchises that will finance for you, but you will have to pay them back, obviously. But that's an option. Even negotiate the terms with your franchisor. It's very rare, but it can happen. Ultimately, you will not know what you can and cannot do until you open your mouth and you speak. Look into local grants. Talk to an angel investor. There are so many different ways where you could possibly get to where you're trying to get to. Hustle on the side, because being broke, for those who don't know, I was flipping everything, man. Call me the flip king. I was flipping shoes. I was flipping so much from Alibaba and AliExpress. I was flipping season tickets. Anything that I could sell, I would sell. That's how I made a lot of my money. You throw the stock market in there, at the end of the day, you can't say you want to be a boss if you're not even taking the right steps to do it. Negotiate everything, because prices aren't set in stone. Be confident about yourself and know what you're talking about when you present this to the franchisor or the franchisee that you're trying to get in with. You can negotiate your lease, you can negotiate the wages, you can negotiate everything, but you have to actually open your mouth and you have to sound confident. If you're not fighting back and forth with your landlord for months on the lease, you ain't doing it right. Because think about it, if you're the landlord and you're trying to lease something out to somebody, you're going to want top dollar. So think about how crazy it would be for you to accept something, sign a 10-year agreement on your lease, and you're just going with what the landlord gave you. At that point, you're giving him all the control. You're giving him the keys to run things exactly how he wants to run them. Don't do that. Work like you own it, even if you don't. So I kind of already touched on this, but I need to dive in even deeper on this. When you're just an employee, handle stuff like the boss. You want to be sure to execute problems before they even get to the manager and before they even get to the owner. It's that simple. You want to take ownership because that makes you valuable. And if you are valuable, guess who's first up to call when that position comes available for you? It's you. If you treat what you're trying to own as a job, they're going to treat you as an employee. If you treat it like a business owner, they're going to treat you like a future business owner. It's that simple. You have to be on top of your game, because if you're not, someone else is going to get that opportunity. You want to scale up smart and do not flex too early. Once I finally got my first franchise and I started making money, I was like, damn, this money looking real good. I didn't blow it on anything. You want to know what I did? I reinvested it. And I did that again and again and again. And that's how I got to 4 stores in 4 years. Every time I was making any type of income, I was putting it to the side and thinking, okay, I'm saving this for the next store. And think about how good that makes you look to the banks if you try to get a loan for another store. If you're showing them, I got X amount of dollars, this is my credit score, this is my P&Ls, I have all this laid out for you, let me get my next store. You're going to get to the point to where you're so good at this to where banks are going to start blowing you up and asking you, when are you ready to grow? Banks call me all the time. I'm always getting people begging to open up my next store. Like some of y'all hit y'all first 100K. Next thing you know, you think you LeBron. Like, bruh, chill. Like, LeBron is a billionaire, bruh. You just getting 100K. So relax on the cars, relax on the clothes, relax on the jewelry, just relax on all of that and reinvest. This is the last one, but it's very important. You need to stay learning or you're going to get left behind. I'm going to say that again. Stay learning or get left behind. The business world, it doesn't wait for anybody. Trends change, customers' habits change, everything changes. So if you're stuck in your little small bubble and you're stuck on today and not thinking about tomorrow, you're going to get left behind. Even now, I stay ahead of the game, I keep learning, and I keep networking. I'm always trying to figure out how to make my business better. You need to incorporate that on the way up. Never get too comfortable. The second that you stop growing, your business is going to die. Think about all of these 90s restaurants and department stores and everything like that they're all closing down. And you want to know why? They're all stuck in their ways. None of them adjusted. None of them adapted. You need to be sure that you're adapting every single chance that you get to become this future franchise owner that you're trying to be. Look, again, I started with $0. I did multiple things and had multiple streams of income to become who I am today. But this video is simply for those who are always asking me, how can I get into a business if I don't have the proper funds? So I hope this 12 things helped you guys out, and share this. Share it to everyone that you can and learn from this. It starts today, so be better today than you were yesterday and be even better tomorrow than you are today. It's that simple.